Hi everybody. So I've just left my daughter's school swimming lessons and my heart is just pounding out of its chest, and I just wanted to ask, have you ever watched anybody that has had a stroke swim? Because it took my breath away. So when my daughter was first born, she suffered an enormous brain hemorrhage and a stroke, and it left a lot of damage to her brain. It left her with sensory processing disorder, it left her with seizures, and it left one side of her body a lot weaker than the other side. Now she's now 5, so she's doing absolutely incredible. She walks, she talks, she goes to mainstream school, and she's doing amazing. She had a lot of intervention early on, and she's just an absolute little superstar. But it really made me think about all the people out there that have had something really horrific happen into their lives that put them at a disadvantage, and I use that term very loosely. And what I mean by that is that it would give people all of the permission in the world to say that they can't do something. So for example, my daughter has had a stroke and half of her body doesn't work the same way the other side does. So when she was swimming, you could see her leg flapping and not quite keeping in rhythm with the rest of her body. She's got every excuse in the world to say, I can't swim, I don't want to go swimming, I'm not able to. And everybody would understand and be like, okay, yeah, totally, I understand that, absolutely. Oh, I'm losing my phone here. But she doesn't, she just cracks on with it anyway. And, oh, there we go. No, it doesn't want to hold. So, I might have to just hold it myself. So anyway, there are so many people out there in this world that have had something happen to them, whether it is a stroke, whether they've lost a limb, whether they suffer with migraines, whether they suffer with depression, have had cancer, have had a heart attack, maybe are grieving the loss of a family member, whatever it may be. Most people out there have had something happen in their life that would give them every excuse to say, I just can't do whatever it is that they want to do because of this that happened to me. But do you know what? Most people don't use that as an excuse. Most people just crack on in life and just get on with it. And I was watching my daughter swimming today and I was thinking, gosh, what a freaking inspiration that little girl is. She has had some of the most horrific stuff happen to her in her early life, yet nothing ever stops her. She has learned to ride a bike, she has learned to swim, she's learned to walk, she's learned to talk, and all of the therapy and intervention that she's had in her life has been fantastic, but ultimately it came down to her determination. And I'm surrounded by people that have had so many bad things happen to them, but their determination has led them to crack on. And I was looking at her and I was thinking, maybe that's rubbed off on me, because they say that you are the average of the 5 people that you spend time with. And before my daughter was born, I was a very miserable person. I suffered with depression, migraines, anxiety, every illness going. I would definitely end up with it, and I was living from paycheck to paycheck. There was too much month and not enough money, and I was just in a really, really, really bad place. And my daughter came along, and I think that she probably rubbed off on me, because people ask me now how I went from working a very minimal wage at an optician's for many years to now running my own online business that I've become self-made from it. And I say to them, well, it was my children. And they say, what do you mean? And I say, my children. It was my children. Because I'll tell you an interesting story. The TV series Sex and the City that then led on to a film was actually based on a real story. There was a woman that actually wrote articles for a newspaper, and somebody picked up on this and they wanted to pay this lady for her story, and they were going to make a TV series out of it, obviously Sex and the City. And the woman said, yeah, I'll sell. And they said, right, you can either have, I think it was $80,000, I think. And they said, you can either have $80,000 or you can have a percentage of what the TV series makes, which may be nothing, or it may be something. And she chose the money. And actually now she took that money back then, 15, 20 years ago, and actually she'd have been better off even taking like 0.5%, because imagine what you would be earning if you earned a percentage of the Sex and the City franchise. So what that means is there is two main ways to make an income. One is a plain income. And that's what most people earn in their job. They turn up for work and they get paid. So that is just exchanging your time for money, okay? So that is what most people do. That is what I did. Then you've got a passive income, which is otherwise known as residual income or time leverage or royalty type income. And that is where you earn a percentage of a turnover, and it grows and grows and grows. Sometimes it doesn't, but it grows and grows and grows, and you've got the potential to earn billions. And this is why most of the richest people in the world don't work 9 till 5, because they're earning a passive type income. And when somebody approached me about starting my own business online from my mobile phone, I was like, oh my gosh, this is genius, because it means I'm not just earning a plain income, I'm earning like a passive type income. However, although that's great, and if it was easy, everybody would be doing it, I actually had to put energy and effort into making this work. And people said to me, like, when times were hard, you still said yes to doing things that you needed to do. Like, why? And I was like, my kids deserved more in life. They didn't deserve to be on benefits, and benefits are fantastic. They're there to help us when we need them, and I'm so grateful that I had the government help when I needed it. But I didn't want to stay on benefits. You know, that's a temporary solution to help you out. And you want to try and, if you can, be somebody that comes off them and leave that money for the people that really, truly need it. So I wanted to come off benefits as quickly as possible, and I wanted to show my children what was possible. And I'm thinking about it now, I'm thinking, my daughter must have really rubbed off on me, because her determination must have enabled me to be determined. And when you run your own business, you have to be self-motivated. And I see people that run their own business like I do, and they commit to doing things and then they cancel at the last minute. And there will always be reasons why you have to cancel at the last minute doing something, whether that's having your own business or even having a job. When I worked at the opticians, there was times when I couldn't go to work at the opticians because my child was ill, or I was ill, or something actually stopped me from going to work. And that happens whether you run your own business or have a job. However, what I see is a lot of people cancelling things they've agreed to do when they run their own business because of really silly reasons. And I think, would you have cancelled going to work for the exact same reason? And if you wouldn't have done, that's where you need to question whether you're treating your business like a business or like a hobby. Because if, let's say, you've got an appointment booked in and you cancel because you're a little bit tired, would you have cancelled your day at work because you're a little bit tired? And if the answer is no, don't treat your business the same way. And I think that I've got this inner determination because of watching my daughter. I really, truly do. And I stood there today and I was thinking, what an inspiration. So what I want to say to you all is, if you have got a dream to do something more in your life, you are the average of the 5 people you spend most of your time with. So what I would suggest that you do is get yourself around people, whether that's children, teenagers, adults, the elderly, that have every reason in the world to not even get out of bed in the morning, but they do. And they are out there enjoying life, making a life for themselves, giving back, inspiring people, and just getting on with it. They are no excuse people. And children are freaking inspirational. When you see children that are no excuse people, spend time with these people and then ask yourself, am I determined? Am I a no excuse person? Do I say I can't? Do I cancel for silly reasons? Do I get out of bed and squeeze every last drop of every minute out of my day to make my life where I want it to be? That is my thoughts for the day. Spend time with people that have had a stroke, had a brain hemorrhage, lost a limb, people that have had serious things happen to them, and yet they crack on in life, because that should rub off on you and push you to do more.